When I was a boy, my pops looked at me and he said, "Son, every person deserves to be given a fine reputation to live up to." And what he meant by that was this: every human, no matter how big or small, whether seemingly important or not important at all, warrants a common dignity, a simple acknowledgement of existence, a nod, a wink, a wave, or even more, a kind smile, a friendly gaze, a good old well-timed "hey" can completely change somebody's day. Every person you brush past is a fellow participant in this thing we call life. And if you've been on Earth for just a day or two, it isn't hard to see that life can be pretty hard. So the next time you get a chance to engage or be engaged, I want you to be considerate of the words that you say. Our words have so much power. A kind word will resonate for a moment, but a harsh word can leave scars for a lifetime. Our words often serve as labels, labels that lend to identities, and identities that dictate behavior. A good identity will thrust a person forward, but a bad one will stunt, mislead, and oftentimes rob that person from being all that God intended them to be. Equally as important as the words that we speak are the manners we use to treat the people we meet. And the longer I've lived, the more I've come to realize this: most are worth a moment's chance to leave a mark or earn your respect. Yet we are so often so self-obsessed that we miss the gold and the people right next door. I still remember the day. I was 11 years old, sitting on a park bench by the beach, when all of a sudden a stranger broke in to say, "Hey you, what's your name?" "My name's Zach," I shyly replied. "What's yours, ma'am?" And to tell you the truth, I don't remember what she said, but I sure do remember the way that she made me feel. She was well-aged, many years my senior, and she was no longer afraid to be inquisitive or kind. And by the end of our time together, she looked at me with a twinkle in her eye and she chimed this: "Everyone is my friend. I just haven't met them all yet." And man, has that stuck with me ever since. What if we all saw the world that way? Would it not immediately become a better place? I can't help but think that when we fail to offer our fellow humans this common courtesy, we gamble. We gamble this: when we need them most, they're nowhere to be found, because when they needed us, we weren't around. But you know what? There's so much more to a fine reputation than just a friendly greeting or the casual exchange of niceties. And I chose this setting for a reason. I often find that nature offers the very best metaphors for life. And I took a little bit of time to write a poem where I personify the sun. And in so doing, I hope to shed light on the inescapable value of reputation to one's identity, and consequently, their duty. Here goes. The sun never rises without the intention of eradicating the dark. And here under his gaze, I wonder why. In the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." And I'm curious if he continued, "Sun, greatest star in my sky, I tell you, bear light, govern day, grant reprieve, illuminate man. Ever glow, my sun, ever glow." And regardless if God said those words or not, each day since our sun has been beseeched. And as he crests, dawn breaks, and all foul creatures and schemers, prowlers and howlers, purveyors and takers, slayers, betrayers of men, they scurry, slither, and slide back down the dirty hole from where they came. For the sun rules the day high in the sky, and need not anyone else know why. He knows. He's just doing as he's been told, and he never misses a day. His reputation is worth more than rubies, more than pearls, more than 1,000 kings' gold. For if the sun in his perpetual sky is worthy to behold, how much more will the good, obedient son, his maker, extol? Listen, I might not be much of a poet, but I hope that you can see the picture I'm trying to create. And if you'd lean in closer, just give me another moment. I have an even finer reputation to offer you. And the thing is, it's not my own opinion, nor is it my moral conviction. The gift I'm about to give you can't even be made by human hands, and hence it can't be devalued by them either. Rather, it is an intrinsic, immutable, life-changing truth. You ready? You are an image bearer of God. You can think, you can feel, you can create, you can love, and you can hate. You can enjoy music, you can articulate language, you can debate morality or practice compassion, you can befriend another, you can ration, reason, and choose freely, independently, and absolutely. Because God created you to be like himself. And that truth, my friend, offers profound meaning to this life. I'd go so far as to say it is the very crux of identity, the orienter of human utility. Being an image bearer is why you are the way you are. For in the beginning, it is written that God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. He created them, and he looked at them and said, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it." And when he saw everything he had made, he uttered the words, "It is very good." But since that day, a few things have changed, and mankind has fallen from grace. And so I want you to hear and heed this. The enemies of your soul, the world, the flesh, and the devil will do everything to twist that image and to make forfeit the value in who God created you to be. Even more, each one of these enemies are working in conjunction to persuade you to reject, to detest, and to mock God. And this is all part of a grand deception where each of them are luring you not only to share in their hate, but to suffer right along with them the punishment of their eternal fate. And as oxymoronic as it might seem, the ways of the world, the ones the masses swarm to and so mindlessly obliged to, are counter-opposed in most every way to life. Our reality is pressure. Pressure to conform to mind-numbing, soul-crushing agendas, each carefully crafted and construed, dictated by depraved oppressors who are maliciously exploiting your flesh, playing on every weakness to keep you docile, stupefied, distracted, and controlled. Satan is sly, and he uses hardened human pawns to not only do his bidding, but to usher right along with himself the masses to hell. I want you to open your eyes. Satan hates you. He's poisoning you, blinding you, shamelessly vying to kill you because he absolutely despises the image you reflect, the God you were made to be like. And if you're like most, you're none the wiser, but rather a willing victim, letting life happen to you under the guise that you can't escape. It's all meaningless. You're worthless, lost, utterly alone, but you aren't. You are an image bearer of God Almighty. And there's nothing that Satan fears you knowing more or wishes you to know less. For when the thought of image bearing dawns in our minds, so the very origin of purpose is born, and the first steps out of Satan's clutches resound aloud. For from here, amongst those of you who might believe me, I can plant a seed in your heart, a seed in the ashes, a seed of a tree with deep roots and bountiful fruit, a seed to the tree of life. So if any piece of you is seeking, curious, wishful for the light of day, if any hope remains, let me plant it. Don't run, don't hide, don't delay. Here now and today, be reconciled to God. Be reconciled to God. I'd scream it to all mankind. Be reconciled to God. Receive the cross of Jesus Christ. Believe in his name for salvation. No longer conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be reborn, be freed, be who God intended you to be. You know, I'm convinced that the only way forward for the generations under the sun today is to return. And the only way out of this life alive is to know God and be known by him, to walk in his ways and worship him alone. Okay, enough preaching, but I just wanted to be sure that we were on the same page. And I'll rest my case with this. To image bear is to be like God. And to be like God is to create, to enjoy, to liberate, to forgive, to heal, to unite. To be like God is to love, not in the twisted, tolerant, self-serving, and conditional ways of the world, but in the honest, unconditional, selfless, and unfailing ways of the kingdom of heaven. That's true worship, and that's a fine reputation to live up to. That's something worth aspiring after, something worth chasing. The more you humble yourself before God, the more he can lift you up, the more he can endow within you love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. But apart from him, you can bear no such fruit, for he is the very source of all worth emulating and all worth desiring. So my friend, I champion you. Go and bear much fruit. Go and sin no more. Go and tell it on the mountaintops that you have been reborn. Your identity has been found. And as the owner of this fine reputation, my fellow image bearer, I pass the baton to you. Would you go and bestow this most beautiful title on each and every person you have the privilege to meet? Be just, show mercy, walk humbly in everything. Do unto others as you would have them do to you. And when nobody is looking, do good all the more. Peace.